A former court employee is speaking out about a judge in North Las Vegas tonight. The worker says she was told to run personal errands for Judge Catherine Ramsey while on the clock.
The person making the allegations no longer works for the court and recently opened up to the I-Team's Glenn Meek. She asked us to not show her face because she's concerned about repercussions.
But we have verified she worked for the court and has made the same allegations in a formal complaint.
Did Judge Ramsey ever direct you to run personal errands for her on taxpayer time?
All the time.
This person is a former North Las Vegas Municipal Court employee who at one time worked with Judge Catherine Ramsey. Among the personal errands the worker says the judge directed them to do, file paperwork at the family court in connection with the judge's former spouse, pick up the judge's tax returns, and this.
On 2 occasions, she had me purchase lottery tickets, drive to Arizona in the middle of the day, purchase lottery tickets.
The former worker says there were also favors requested by the judge that extended after work hours.
She would take a trip to Laughlin, her and her husband, for a week, and I would be responsible for babysitting her daughter. Her daughter would come stay with me.
A couple of questions before you go any further. Is that something you wanted to do?
No.
Why did you do it?
Out of fear.
The recall effort against North Las Vegas Judge Catherine Ramsey has cleared another legal hurdle. Today, a district court judge shot down Ramsey's argument that judges cannot be recalled by voters. The I-Team's Glenn Meek has been following the case, which could have some pretty strong historic implications.
Yeah, possibly historic, because in Nevada's 150-year history, no judge has ever been recalled. But today, State Judge Eric Johnson issued a ruling that paves the way for a recall election. Now, Judge Ramsey had argued that only the Nevada Commission on Judicial Discipline was authorized to remove a judge from the bench, but Judge Johnson cited an article from Nevada's Constitution dating back to 1912.
The court finds that the term "every public official" used in the article includes judges, and the article permits voters to recall a judge.
Now, Judge Johnson also rejected Ramsey's claims that the process of verifying signatures on the recall petition was faulty. But Johnson reserved judgment on a claim by Ramsey that a consultant working for her was unable to properly monitor the signature verification process because he was given false information about when it was happening. Now, Ramsey has called this recall effort politically motivated because she refused to bow down to North Las Vegas officials trying to divert money from her court. But the recall advocates say Ramsey has mistreated city employees and misused a city purchase card for her own legal expenses.
The former employee initiated a complaint with the city's Human Resources Department, but that department has no authority over the judge, who is an elected official. The HR investigation did conclude there was a hostile work environment at the court. That conclusion is echoed by another city employee who also wanted their identity protected.
She is abusive towards employees in her courtroom. I have witnessed her become angry and scream at employees in her courtroom. And as a result of that, she has created a very hostile work environment.
Judge Ramsey is involved in a lawsuit with the city. She claims the city should have defended her in a separate lawsuit filed by another employee. The city, meanwhile, filed an ethics complaint against the judge, in part because the judge used her city purchase card to help pay for a lawyer the city refused to provide.
The state of Nevada made legal history today as the Supreme Court heard arguments in the first case ever involving the recall of a sitting judge.
North Las Vegas Municipal Judge Catherine Ramsey is the first judge in Nevada history to face a recall election. The I-Team's Glenn Meek was in the courtroom where the justices had pointed questions for both sides.
The Nevada Supreme Court will get the last word, and it will be historic. The key constitutional question: whether judges are like other elected public officials in this state and subject to recall by the voters.
The Supreme Court of the state of Nevada is now in session.
All 7 Nevada Supreme Court justices took the bench to consider a question before the court for the first time in the history of the state. Can a judge elected by the people also be recalled by the people? Lawyers for North Las Vegas City Judge Catherine Ramsey said no.
This is inappropriate. It is unlawful, and we're asking the court to stop the recall election.
Ramsey's attorneys argue that a mid-1970s law creating the Commission on Judicial Discipline excluded judges from a 1912 law giving voters the right to recall public officers.
Is a judge a public officer?
No, absolutely not. The Judicial Disciplinary Committee retains exclusive jurisdiction for the removal of judges.
It is abundantly clear that a judge is a public officer and therefore subject to a recall.
Arguing on behalf of the committee to remove Judge Ramsey, former Nevada Secretary of State Ross Miller argued that the law creating the Judicial Discipline Commission did create another way to remove a judge from the bench, but did not alter the 1912 recall provision.
It's been clear through looking at the history of our state that the public wants to be able to elect their judges, and with that would come the power to be able to recall their judges as well. And that should be given.
Now, in addition to the constitutional question of whether a judge can be recalled, the High Court is also looking at whether Judge Ramsey was given proper opportunity to review the processing of the recall petitions. And the committee to remove Judge Ramsey has cited a number of reasons for recalling her, including her use of a city purchase card to pay a legal bill that the city claims is personal. Now, Ramsey disputes all those allegations, and a decision by the Supreme Court is expected fairly soon, as Nevada law requires fast action on recall issues.